So today the lessons is about the mind. And when we talk about the mind, we talk about thoughts. Because the mind is made of thoughts. So you need to know how to control the thought waves in the mind to transform the mind. What you want to bring the mind to is a state of calmness, positive and calm. So the mind is like a lake. You want the mind to be as calm as possible. So then the lake becomes very transparent. So you can see a beautiful picture of yourself when you look into the lake mind. Okay? When a thought comes in the mind and you are not holding on to the thought, you just step back like a witness. And that's what you do when you try to meditate. You don't get attached to the thoughts. You don't identify with the thoughts. And you step back in your mind and you become the witness. Then at that time, the thought wave will just come and it will dissolve in the ocean of consciousness. So, I mean, at that time, that thought wave will not distort your vision of who you are. I mean, it would not distort, the picture that you see about yourself and about the universe. So it's very important to always keep the thoughts very positive and also to calm the thought waves down. If you keep repeating the same thought, if the thought comes and you keep repeating the same thoughts, so that groove created in the mind will be deeper. Okay? So that thought become more solid. So become more material. It gain more power. It become more real. So we have the choice. Okay? We can make these thoughts, whatever we want, to become our reality, or we can calm the mind down, calm the thought waves down, and make bliss becomes our reality. Okay? So yogis look at the thoughts in order to understand the thoughts, but they don't feed in the thought. They don't give it energy. They let it go. And also they learn to transform the thoughts from darkness to light. So that's the lesson of today. How to understand your thought and how to transform your thought from darkness to light. The mind, you need to understand, it has different levels and different functions. The mind is not ourselves. The mind is not ourselves. So because we are thinking all the time, so we tend to identify with the thoughts in our mind to be ourselves. That's a mistake. Okay? So that's all the yogis need to understand. The mind is not ourselves. It's only the instrument. In order for us to understand our karmic lesson, so we have to go through this and that in the mind. Okay? Our thoughts and feelings are not ourselves. So that's why you need to learn to detach. We have the tendency to repeat familiar thoughts and feelings and lose ourselves in the thoughts and the emotions. So that's only our tendency, is to keep repeating the same thought and feeling. So we need to learn to navigate. Navigate means to direct these thoughts and the emotions if we know how to develop our own mind, we will know how to accelerate our process of spiritual evolution. So if you learn how to use your mind properly, you go more direct and faster toward your ultimate development. Okay? It all depends on you, how much you know how to use your mind. So do you want to evolve? Most of us doesn't know what evolution means. Evolution means to come to our core self, our blissful self, satisfying the purpose of your life, being closer to the truth, being truly, truly happy. Okay? So that happiness and that fulfillment of our soul that lasts, no matter what happens outside. So that is coming closer to our true goal, is to be happy no matter what happens outside. So the evolution of our mind is directly related to our connection with our blissful consciousness or Atman. Okay? So you have to remember the Atman is, the nature of the Atman is true bliss, Sitaramananda. It doesn't come, it doesn't go, it's a support of this world. It's all the time there. It's pure consciousness, supreme consciousness, and pure bliss. Okay? So this is what we want to perceive. Okay? But we cannot perceive that with our mind. Our mind is limited. We cannot perceive our Atman with our mind. We can make the mind become more pure, so we can transcend the mind, so you can see beyond the mind. But you cannot perceive with the mind, the Atman, because the mind is limited instrument. Okay? So that's why yoga developed a lot of techniques in order for you to control and purify the mind. Okay? And today we will talk about that a little bit. It's a huge topic because yoga is teaching you yoga psychology. Okay? So you need to know that there are many levels of the mind. Okay? So I'm going to show you a little share screen here. So a little picture. Okay. So you need to understand the different levels of the mind and how to navigate your mind from gross to subtle. So you see here, normally for an untrained mind, that means a person that is not practicing yoga and meditation, then the mind, the subconscious mind, you see here, yeah, like a triangle, the subconscious mind is occupy a very big portion. Okay? I mean, our whole being is based on this triangle. The base, big base, is the subconscious mind. Okay? And the top higher, 5% is the higher mind, the conscious mind. Okay? And then the tip top there is a super conscious mind, but most people don't know. Okay, so most of us, we function in the subconscious mind. Okay, so when we talk about our mind, we talk about that. We talk about our instinct and our emotions, and it functions out of the past. Okay, instinct, emotion, and function out of the past. Our instincts are survival instincts. So most of us thinking all the time about what to eat, how to have more comfort, how to make money in order to go buy food. how to keep ourselves safe or we don't get sick, and then think about, oh, who is my next partner I want to marry, who is a good guy, and then how I can keep people, don't take my stuff, yeah, don't trespass in my land. So so our instinct of territorial instinct. So we want to fan ourselves to have a place on earth. Our herd instinct means we want to behave like everybody. Yeah, if everybody is non-vegetarian, then I'm also, and I'm non-vegetarian. If everybody become vegetarian, it's okay. I can be vegetarian. So it's not a question of it's good for you. It's a question I follow everybody. Okay, and then possessive instinct. So we say me, mine a lot. This is mine. This is mine. This is mine. Okay, and also we have our instinct. So then we have lots of passions within us. So these are the low mind. And then we have our emotions in our mind, very busy. We are kept up very busy with our emotions that are distorted the mind. You see, our fear, our anger, our desire, our hatred, jealousy, envy, lust, greed. Okay, so that's our emotions. And then we think also in terms of the past. Our past habits, our past impressions, our memories, our experience. We all the time compare, but instead of compare to the Atman and what you must feel, yeah, we compare to the past, what we felt before. So all the time we say, oh, I felt this before, I was like this before. So constantly our thinking is very limited because we compare to our past. Okay? And then we have all this habit of thinking. If we have this depressive tendency, always thinking negative thoughts about ourselves, then we are stuck in it. We are imprisoned in this negative thought tendency. Okay, so that's why yoga train you to be cultivating new positive memory, new positive thoughts. Okay, so it's a struggle in order for you to get out of your old patterns. Okay, so all this occupy your mind. So when you talk about your mind, you talk about this. You talk about your desires, you talk about your emotions. I like this person, I don't like this. All day long, and you listen to yourself, that's what you say. I like this, I don't like this. I desire this, I don't want this. And then before it was like this, and now what will happen in the future? So we always like think about past, and past bring the future. That means you would, with that mind that is stuck in the pattern of the past, it will reproduce, it will project, and it will reproduce a future that is similar to the past. Why? Because that's the mind thinks. What the mind thinks is that what you are. So you are stuck in the subconscious mind, 95%, that means a lot. Your mind is not serving you to be happy and to evolve, but it keeps you in the same place. Yeah, it's very it's very thick. It's not very transparent. Yeah, and it's a reason why you are born. And you take physical birth with a particular mind, and you keep reproducing it, and that's why it is said that you keep running around in a circle of samsara. Samsara means not happy. Okay. All this, 95%, a lot to work from, okay? But we need to increase our higher mind, our conscious mind, okay? Which bring you to the present. If you are able to be conscious, then you live in the present. Okay? You are able to make clear decision because you don't have preconceived idea about things. Most of the time, we have a lot of preconceived idea, so that's why we all the time react instead of making decision. Okay, so and the conscious mind, which we have, because we are not just animal, we are human. We're equipped with the intellect. So this higher mind, this intellectual mind, should guide the lower mind. Okay, and not let the lower mind dominating the higher mind. Okay, so if you don't pay attention, the lower mind, with its desire and its habit and its fear and its emotions and its instinct, always dominate your capacity of reasoning and your capacity of thinking and making decision in order for you to evolve. Okay, so here we learn about these 3 levels of mind in order for you to learn how to evolve, to go higher. So the 3rd level is super conscious level. It's rare. It's the seat of the intuition. In order to develop intuition, you have to be able to develop the conscious mind, the conscious mind first. That means you need to be able to reason. Okay, so you reason, and then you develop your sadhana or your practices that will help you to purify the mind. And then at that time, the intuition will happen. And then you'll be able to be closer to the truth. Yeah. Why? Because you are all the time that truth, that Atman, and the mind is leading you to believe that you are something different. So by consciously taking decision to do sadhana, then your mind will be able to more quickly be able to be transparent so that you can perceive who you are. So now what we want is to develop, to train the mind. Okay, and all yoga practices help you to do that. You want to invert the triangle. I mean, we want to make the subconscious mind, the part of the mind that you don't know, okay, to become less. And you want to develop more conscious awareness. You want the conscious part of the mind be bigger. Okay, that means you don't function automatically anymore. You become a conscious person. Yeah, and you want the superconscious, the intuition, to be more developed. That means you want to be a very transparent, complete, full, advanced, evolved personality. Okay, so that's what we want. We want to train the mind to become more and more conscious and more aware and more intuitive and less dark. Dark means not knowing. So subconscious is dark because it doesn't have light. Okay, only when the consciousness is developed and the superconscious is developed, then there is light. Okay, so the journey is the journey from darkness to light. Okay. So you need to be aware that the lower mind, when you are growing and you start to control your lower mind is all the time try to push to get back its power like before. Okay, so you see, it influences the conscious mind. The lower mind influences the conscious mind. So that's why, let's say the conscious mind say, I need to wake up in the morning early to meditate. Yeah. But the subconscious mind conditioning, yeah, said to you, oh no, today too cloudy and too cold. Yeah. So then it gave some kind of justification so that you take decision to sleep more. And it come from the subconscious habit of, you know, of sleeping a lot and not wanting to wake up. Yeah. So that is happening all the time. Yeah. So your mind will say, oh, you know, I need to eat meat because my doctor says so, that I will not be healthy if I don't eat meat. Yeah. So then the mind again jump into this because it's the doctor says so, the family says so. So that's come from your subconscious mind. Mm. So you have to go and do research. Yeah, when you do research, you develop your conscious mind. You have to explain that there are many different sources of protein, and you know how if the whole planet eat more conscious food, then it will be creating less problem to the world. You have to do research. Many people have done research. So that is the conscious mind. And then the superconscious mind is the inspiration level. I mean, you also have to allow your mind to be inspired, to receive high thoughts from heaven. So you need to have time to contemplate, to be in nature, and to be very calm and quiet so that you can have new kind of thoughts. But most of the time we are very busy, yeah, with the subconscious mind, you know, worry and emotions and survival. So then, you know, you have no time to think and you have no time to be inspired. Okay, so I thank you for coming to the satsang regularly, many people. Why? Because it's a good habit that you follow, yeah, but it gives you some good thoughts, so it develops more your awareness, okay, and it reinforces your higher mind more, okay. So this is a journey of evolution, of conscious training of the mind. And the Atman, that is beyond, transcendental, you when the mind become very calm and pure, then you realize the Atman, which is the absolute consciousness, okay, that lies beyond these three levels of mind. Okay, the Atman cannot be seen through the mind. The mind has to be sattvic, then you have some light that come in. Okay, if the mind is tamasic, dark, then it's like a blocking the light. Okay, the light is always there, but it's like the sun that is blocked by the clouds. Okay? And then the mind become rajasic, then all this projection of the mind of different thoughts make you believe that, you know, this is the truth, this is the truth, that is the truth. So you jump and you run and you become very restless, looking at things that are not leading you to happiness. Okay? So that's why you need to calm the mind down so that you can see that I am the pure Atman. Happiness is already within me. Okay? So this process of transformation from subconscious to conscious to superconscious takes a long time. So you need to be active and aware. Okay? Don't fall asleep. Don't just stay with your old kind of mind. All the time repeat the same thing, all the time complaining, all the time follow the same habit. Yeah, try to change the mind in a conscious manner. Okay, so I repeat, the subconscious mind has a lot of hidden, submerged thoughts. Hidden, that means you don't know that it's there, but it's there. A lot of thoughts, you worry, yeah, but it's hidden. You're not aware. And the thoughts that are from the subconscious mind can be very powerful. Because it's a long time you've been thinking about this. So then, and also you need to remember that the subconscious mind is a storehouse of past experience. Do you want to eat reheated food that you already eat and leftover, cold, yeah, and smelly? And do you want to eat reheated food all the time? Old food? No. Yeah. So you don't want to live an old life. Yeah? You don't want to repeat an old self, an old kind of history, repeating. Yeah. Sometimes people get very tired and very depressed. Why? Because their thoughts just keep repeating. And they live in that old thoughts again and again, negative thoughts, and again. So they're imprisoned by their thoughts. Okay? So because you are living the past, it's not who you are, it's just the past repeating itself. And then automatic. Most of us are kind of lazy. So our thoughts are automatic because it takes some kind of work to think. And okay, of course, the subconscious mind also is good because whatever that you learn, some skills you learn, it's in your subconscious mind. Skill of driving a car, skill of calculating, mathematics you learn, and then now you know. So it's a skill that is in subconscious mind, okay? But the certain skill or certain way of thinking, you can keep in the mind because it's your learning, but you need to have the discriminative faculty, the intelligence to know what to keep and what to change. Okay, so don't just automatically follow everything in your mind. Okay, and don't just throw everything. People. They are not happy with themselves, so they take alcohol and drugs. So they destroy the instrument. They take everything out. They throw everything to the garbage. Yeah, your good faculty and your negative memory, they throw everything. So that's not the way to go. Okay, so remember that the mind is the basis of who you are today. Okay, your body, your mind, your relatives, your family, your job, your skills, your education, all these are part of your present karma. And the present karma is nothing else but the past thoughts, okay, that you need to experience today. So, okay, so be aware. That's the first step. Be aware of your subconscious instinctive mind. Okay. Be aware of your desires to follow the crowd, to have your own kingdom. Yeah. So you don't give. Why? Because you want your own kingdom. Okay. But that is the instinct that makes you want your own kingdom, and accumulating things instead of sharing, giving. Sharing, giving is more coming from the higher mind. But accumulation and be afraid that you don't have enough, and that's come from your low mind. Okay, so you have to constantly be aware. True love is coming from your higher mind, but lust and desire coming from your low mind. Okay, so the subconscious mind also, remember, is very emotional. There's a lot of emotion. Okay, so you need to work on your emotion. If you become less emotional, doesn't mean that you have less love, but you have higher kind of functioning. Okay, so pay attention to your emotional impulse. If somebody like very quickly feels something and immediately react, yeah, it's their emotional impulse, and it's not necessarily good for them. Okay, you need to be able to suggest to the mind the positive thing to do, because you are the master of your mind, so you guide your mind. Okay, so you tell the mind, yeah, it's better that I wake up early morning, because at that time everyone is calm and beautiful sunshine, so it's good for my mind, like this. So you are using auto suggestion, yeah, and sometimes your habit of thinking is negative, so you have to turn it around by creating this positive affirmation, and then you repeat the thought. Okay? You repeat the positive thoughts. Okay? That's called the art of self-affirmation. Okay? How do you do self-affirmation? You can just repeat many times, not only one time, the positive thoughts. Yeah, I'm powerful, I'm courageous, and I have love is within me, I am love, and I am complete and fulfilled. Something like this. And then you keep repeating, okay? Then it becomes real, because it becomes a deeper groove in your mind, and then it becomes real, okay? So you develop the conscious mind. That means you develop your capacity of making choice, okay? You have to know that you have the capacity to make choice all the time. Now you are not a victim, okay? If you feel that you are a victim, it's because there is some habit in your mind that is quite deep, okay? You make choice and you are in the present. Sometimes you say, oh, I cannot make choice. You know, the past is like this, and very strong habit like this, so I cannot make choice in the present. No, you just make choice immediately in the present, choose something that is positive, and then it change. Okay, so know that you can trust your higher mind. Your higher mind is like an adult that you can trust, and the subconscious mind is like a kid that you need to guide. Okay? And don't give up. Don't give up your capacity of self-control. Okay? So try to reason, try to think, and if you cannot think, you can ask somebody that is higher mind than you, and you ask a person to guide you. Okay? In Buddhism, in yoga, we have the concept taking refuge. You take refuge under a teacher. What that means? That you use the higher mind of the teacher, yeah, to guide you, because your subconscious mind is very strong. So then it takes over all the time. So then you consciously, you put yourself under influence of a higher mind, of a teacher, and then you listen to the teacher. Okay? So you listen to the teacher because you feel love and respect toward the teacher, and you don't have to think too much, because you have difficulty to think. Yeah, your emotional mind is stronger than your reasoning power. So then you just link to the higher mind of a teacher, and then you surrender, and then you follow. You see, so that is much easier. Okay, but it's still coming from you, because you consciously you put your mind under positive influence. So you're not just only blindly following your emotion. Okay, know that all these minds, Even the higher mind can make mistake. Okay, even though you reason, you think long time, but because it's not the ultimate, it is possible that you make mistake, even though you think long time. Pro and con, pro and con. Why? Because you don't have that full picture. Okay. But the intuitive mind doesn't make mistake when you are able to meditate a lot, and then your mind become very pure. And then after you keep your mind to be pure long time, you don't pollute your mind, you don't put your mind in a company of negative people, for example, that have the capacity to pollute your mind, or you don't go to places that is very tamasic and rajasic because it will pollute your mind. You don't watch movie that will pollute your mind. And you keep your mind pure so that you can all the time be able to be self-aware. Self-aware means the capacity to connect to your heart, and then have listened to the voice of the soul. So you are aware of the self, aware of the Atman. Okay, and be aware that the your high thinking all the time is being pulled down by the subconscious mind. Okay, so you are thinking very nicely as a yogi, and all of a sudden, your fear of survival comes, and all of a sudden you are thinking differently. And you're thinking how to make money, you're afraid that you don't have enough food, and all these fears have to come up. Okay. So you have to learn to develop the capacity of self-inquiry. Self-inquiry means a high thinking, okay, about who you are, okay? And be able to let go of who you are not. Okay, so live in the present most of the time. Don't worry, live in the present. Swami Sivananda says the present is superior to the past. Present is superior to the past. Okay? And Einstein say no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that has created it. It's very beautiful. That means if you are living and you have a problem, so it's your mind that creates that problem. But if you use that mind in order to solve that problem, is it possible? Not possible. You go in circle around and around and around. So you need to get out of the habits of the mind, okay? By changing consciousness. At that time, you just do your sadhana. Repeat your mantra, go to satsang, do your asana pranayama. So it changed, immediately it changed consciousness, and then you start to see a glimpse of the answer, okay? Because you cannot solve the problem of your mind with your own mind. You just go around, around, around. So stop this kind of thinking. It's better that you do your sadhana so that you can be free. So remember also that when you think of things of the past, you feel more secure. Okay, why? Because the thought is stronger. When the thought is stronger, you feel secure, even though it's a negative thought. Okay, so that's a trap. The mind just keep thinking of the past and feel more comforted. Why? Because it's something known. And then you feel very familiar and you feel good with it. If you venture into a spiritual world, then everything is new. You never thought like that before. You never feel like that before. So you feel very unsecure, in a new territory. And you want to come back to the old feeling about yourself. Okay. But the past is dead. Okay. The old karma, let go of it. The present is real. Yeah. Is the door to your conscious awareness. Okay. So the future does not exist because it's a replica. It's a repetition. It's a replica of the past. Okay. So if you hold yourself in the present, you hold your future. If you hold the past, you become victim to the future. So think about this. Sometimes people say, oh, I practice meditation, yoga, life is very boring. It's all right, but it's boring, no fun. Okay. Why? Because the subconscious mind is very emotional and you like the emotions. Emotions is fun. Okay. But if you are reasonable, it feels very dry and your emotions feel very sad and you want to come back to have fun like before. See? So you have to accept. Okay. But you have to know that if you go to the super conscious mind, to the intuitive mind, yeah, and then it starts to be very warm. Okay. Because love is there, the inspiration is there, the fun will be there, but different kind of fun. Okay. It's not just emotional, but it is the truth that includes the love. Okay. So so you need to practice yoga not in a dry manner. You do things dry, then your mind, your emotional mind would react. Okay. So always a little bit, bring some variety so that your mind doesn't get bored. Okay. So you can keep your inspiration. That's the main thing. The main thing. If you keep your inspiration, then you keep going upward. Yeah. If you don't keep your inspiration, then the lower mind would take over. Okay. And then Sam, let's say you keep your inspiration in relationship, then that relationship is new all the time. Yeah. But if you don't, then you go back to the past. Then you say, oh, always the same husband, yeah, the same thoughts, the same relationship, very dead. Before the husband opened the mouth, you already know what he's going to say. So the relationship become dead. And then you lose energy. So the same with your teacher, with your own spiritual self, always keep inspiration. Okay. Now, the intuitive mind has a higher feeling. Okay? So feeling of devotion is the superconscious mind. So you can develop the devotion. But that's why in India culture, it's very nice because they have the different names of gods and goddesses. Today we start the 9 days of Navaratri, which is the 9 days of the Divine Mother worship. And then she has many, many forms. So we say only 3 forms, Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati. But in fact, she has thousands of forms because she represents energy, cosmic energy. So how much different types of energy that exist there? Yeah. How many different types of emotion that exist there? So she has many forms. So if you keep contemplating all these thoughts and all these energies in your life as divine, then you keep yourself inspired. Okay. All the time, you have to find ways how to make it interesting. Okay. So you can keep your inspiration. So you know, you change the different dresses of the goddess, and then so then your altar you keep changing so that it's alive, you know. You put new flower and new things. My altar keep changing all the time because keep it alive, you see. Okay. So keep your mind going upward, yeah? Not downward. Okay. So you move the mind from the subconscious mind to the conscious mind and to the superconscious mind. Okay. You need to exercise your reasoning power. Okay, that's also helpful. Even though you're lazy, you just want to think emotionally. But you need to exercise your reasoning power. You need to learn how to surrender to a higher will. That will help you to overcome the ego. You need to overcome anything that is unconscious, yeah, and your instinct. You need to learn to practice the sadhana regularly, so that you can keep moving from darkness to light. Any thought that you change in your mind, you're already moving forward. Okay? So moving from darkness to light, you have to imagine that. Okay? So during the meditation, if you keep meditating regularly, then what happens during meditation? The subconscious mind become lighter. Okay? Less things that you don't know about yourself. Okay? Problems will be resolved by itself, because when the light comes, problems will be resolved by itself. And then the conscious mind become activated, and then you have the mind become very clear, and then the superconscious mind now can operate, because you have some insight that from heaven, some intuitive insight. Okay? And you have to go beyond eventually. After the mind becomes super sattvic, yeah, then it can go beyond the three gunas. Okay? So now what we're going to do together is that we're going to do some exercise of how to transform thoughts, and from negative to positive, from tamasic, rajasic to sattvic. Okay? The more you do this exercise, the more you learn to manipulate your mind. It's like you do exercise with your muscle. You have to keep doing different exercise. Okay, so now you have to do exercise with your mind. And then the mind that is very stuck, that is very rigid, will become less rigid. And then it become more flexible. Okay, so that's the exercise of the mind. So now I want you to think of, first you need to think about certain words, so that your mind would think nicely. For example, you think happy, you think of the word happy. You have to have the capacity to think that there is the happiness that is temporary and the happiness that is more permanent. Okay, so the moment you say I'm happy, think, is it temporary or is it more true, more permanent? Okay, so for example, you say the word healthy, then you need to think, is it really because I'm not having disease that I'm healthy, or am I living health? Okay, joyful. Okay, then you think, oh, joyful give me prana. Yeah, you relate the joy and the prana. So then you say, okay, so if I keep myself cheerful and joyful, I have more prana. For example, you think light, and you think the opposite, heavy. You think faith, and you think the opposite, not having doubt. You think focus and you think, oh, I'm in the present. You think united and you think, oh, I'm not separated from anybody. Everyone is one. You think strong and you know that you are actually anchored in the self. Because the mind cannot be strong. The mind, you repeat habit and then it feels strong, but then there will be one day it will collapse. So it's not that strong. So you are strong when you are anchored in the truth of yourself. You think equanimity, that means calmness, evenness of mind. It's not boring. Evenness of mind is not boring. Yeah. But it's not reactive to the emotion, high and low, okay? Not up and down. So your mind is staying calm, yeah, tranquil, serene, forbearing, be able to endure. And what that means keeping calm in difficulties, okay? Soft-spoken, what that means? Then you need to say things that you need to say, but say it nicely. Okay? You can develop that capacity to do that. You say the word detach. So then you have to think, okay, what I'm attached to. Okay? You see, the mind can be adaptable. Adaptable means flexible. Okay? I think like this, but I can think like this too. Okay? So it's not rigid. Okay? So somebody message here, what is it? If somebody doesn't know how to get to the Vietnamese channel, okay. Can you please answer her? You think austerity, yeah, austerity means not indulgent. Not indulgent. That means what? That means you like something, you don't just keep repeating the same thing. Okay? You have to restrain the capacity of say, no, less. Yeah? So capacity to be austere, to be simple. When you think of relaxation, your mind is very not clear. So the moment that you think of relaxation, and you think of, okay, I go to the beach, I drink a cup of coffee, you like this. So this association of the mind is wrong, okay? So you need to rethink, and you have to know that if you keep yourself not stressed, then in fact you are relaxed, okay? And when you are not reactive to things, and you don't think that anything that is that is so serious that make you lose your peace of mind and lose your connection to the self. So then at that time you are in fact relaxed. When you are thinking, I live a life of moderation, yeah, then you think, oh, you know, boring. But in fact, moderation means not living extreme. You know, don't allow your mind to go to extreme. Be balanced. Okay. When you think of the word dispassionate, yeah, then you have the mind have tendency, oh, you know, that life is not fun. Okay, you have to check the mind. The mind has this wrong association. Okay, then had you say you have to think, oh no, you know, it's I can be detached. Why being fulfilled? Okay, it does not mean like being born. Okay, and you have to know how to replace words with the opposite that is more positive. For example, unhappy, then say it happy. If you feel depressed, then you have to say joyful and energetic. If you feel unhealthy, you replace with the word healthy. If you feel, oh, I hate this, yeah, then you have to think of loving. If you have judgmental thoughts, yeah, and you know that it comes from your ego, and at that time you replace with tolerance, accepting. Okay? If you feel chaotic, I mean, this, that, it's not very harmonious, and you need to think of harmony. If your mind is undisciplined, it's like, no, it doesn't want to do things. And then you think discipline. And then just the fact that you think about this, it will happen. Okay? And then if you feel the mind is lazy, yeah, then you say, I'm enthusiastic about this. Yeah? Then it changes. If you think your mind is not it's slothful. Slothful means not caring. Then you think of caring. Okay? Unrighteousness, and the opposite is righteousness. Angry, then you think of being content, letting go of expectation. Revengeful, the opposite is forgiving. Restlessness, the opposite is peaceful. Fearful, the opposite is courage. Anxious, you replace with faith. Shy, you feel shy. Oh, I cannot do this, I'm shy. Then you feel self-confident. You repeat to yourself, I'm self-confident. Doubt, you say, oh, I think Swami Sita say nice thing, but I doubt that I can practice that. Doubt, then you have to say, I have faith in myself that I can practice that. Okay. You feel being stuck. I'm stuck. My life is the same, boring. Then you have to imagine that your life is like a river flow. Then actually, even though you don't know, but your life is moving forward. If you think irresponsible, then you need to replace with being responsible. If you feel frustrated, you know, the people around me is this and that, and they are so slow and this, that, and you have to say, accepting. I accept the people around me. You feel like you want to push somebody, abuse somebody, then you need to replace with respectful. If you feel irritable, okay, then you replace with being patient. If you feel downward, then you think of upwards. Okay? If you feel crazy, the mind is crazy, then you think of something orderly, okay, grounded. If you have self-doubt and have faith in yourself, if you are dishonest, then be more honest. Opposite of manipulation is being straightforward. Opposite of lustful is being pure. Opposite of instability is being stable. Opposite of being attached means detached. Opposite of greed means being generous. Opposite of naive is being realistic about things. Opposite of procrastinating means do it. What you procrastinate about something, then you just do it and you surrender the results, good or bad. And it continues like this. You can do exercise of your mind. Opposite of being central is turning inwards. Opposite of worldly means also going inwards. Okay, so you do exercise. Let's say Monday, you have some quality that you cultivate. Monday, you cultivate, say, detachment, and you think about attachment, attachment, you think about this. Tuesday, you think about courage or fear, anxiety, and courage. Wednesday, you think of compassion as opposed to judgmental. Thursday, you think of faith. So today, you think of faith instead of doubt. Okay. Friday, you think of charity, of giving, instead of taking, greed. Saturday, you think of patience instead of impatience. Sunday, you think of forgiveness instead of narrow-mindedness. So I gave some guidance according to the name of the planet. Yeah, Monday is the moon, Tuesday is Mars, Wednesday is Mercury, Thursday is Guru or Jupiter, Friday is Venus, Saturday is planet Saturn, Sunday is the sun. And I know the quality of this planet. Yeah, so the every day there has a certain quality of the day, so you can use it to cultivate your mind. Okay, your mind needs to be worked on. Your mind is not something that is solid. The mind is all the time changing, and you need to guide the mind to change in the right direction. Okay, so now you can do also the exercise per month. Okay, let's say January, and you think of austerity instead of indulgence. February, you think of generosity instead of stinginess. March, you give yourself the exercise of being vigilant instead of being slothful. April, you think of pure love instead of lustful. May, you think of creativity instead of being stagnant. June, you think of forgiveness instead of being vengeful. July, you think of equanimity instead of being biased and have too much likes and dislikes. In August, you think of serenity instead of being disturbed. September, you think of straightforwardness instead of hypocrisy. October, you think of adaptability instead of rigidity. November, you think of self-discipline instead of being distracted. December, you think of charity, selflessness, egoism. So you can put in your calendar, this quality, and then you keep exercising yourself. Okay, so it's the 9 days of the Devi, the goddess. So now I'm going to give you the blessing of goddess Lakshmi. She has 8 forms, Ashta Lakshmi, 8 forms. So she will give you courage. So blessing for courage for everyone. She will give you wealth. So blessing for prosperity for everyone. She will give you knowledge, education. So blessing for more knowledge for everyone. She gave you career, some kind of occupation that you like. Yeah, so blessing for you to find the job that you like. She gave you food. So blessing to have good food, nourishing, healthy food for all. She gave you health. So blessing for all to have good health all the time, physical, mental, spiritual. Family. So all those that connected to you, like your family. So then blessing to have good connection. You can have a spiritual family for those who live in ashram. And last is blessing for long life. So may you live long and meaningful life. So that is the blessing for Navaratri. Okay? So during Navaratri, you try to meditate, you do puja if you can, or repeat mantra of the goddess. Okay? So 3 days you can repeat mantra of Durga, 3 days repeat mantra of Lakshmi, 3 days repeat mantra of Saraswati. So then all the power of the universe, of strength, of love, and of knowledge will come to you. Hare Om Tat Sat. Any question? Anything? So at least you know that you have to exercise your mind. That your mind is not you, and you have to exercise your mind. And if you be able to exercise your mind, and then it's like you take care of your own children, and the children will give good result. Okay? But if you don't take care, then your mind will be like a piece of land full of grass, of weeds. Hare Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much. Is it okay? Any question? Ramapriya? No? Harini always say something. Harini Hanoi. You need to unmute yourself.
Om Swamiji, con cảm ơn Swamiji hôm nay giảng về cái bài tâm trí rất là hay. Và con nghĩ là cái việc mà để mình chuyển hóa cái tâm trí từ tiêu cực sang tích cực ấy, thì chắc chắn là mình còn phải thực hành, mà mình phải kiên định với cái việc thực hành của mình mỗi ngày ạ.
So she said thank you for a good lesson, and you have to practice every day, she said, to transform your mind. Okay?
Dạ, con cảm ơn Swamiji.
Thank you. Bhakti. Nói gì không? You want to say something?
Con cảm ơn Swami. Con cảm ơn Swamiji. Tối nay con có rất là nhiều cảm xúc khi mà tham dự cái satsang tối hôm nay. Tại vì sáng nay nhận được một cái thông điệp là lời nói, cái ngôn ngữ của tâm trí. Thì hôm nay thì con được dự cái satsang và có nội dung y chang như vậy, thì con thấy rất là biết ơn ạ.
Thank you. So she received a message about the language of the mind, and then she received that class, so she feel very happy. Okay, anybody else?
Dạ, thưa Swami, con là Santoshi ở Hồ Chí Minh. Con rất là cảm ơn Swami, hôm nay có một cái bài về tâm trí cũng rất là hay. Và con có một cái câu hỏi, con định hỏi trong cái satsang lần trước mà không kịp hỏi, nên là lần này con... Dạ.
Okay.
Hiện nay thì con nhận được rất là nhiều cái thông tin về việc những cái thế lực bóng tối họ sử dụng những cái vaccine để mà ảnh hưởng cái tâm trí, cái bộ não của mình, ngăn cái sự thức tỉnh, ngăn cái sự tiến hóa tâm linh, Swami. Thì con không biết là cái thông tin này có đúng không, Swami ha?
Nghĩ đi. Có cái trí thông minh thì mình nên nghĩ đi.
Dạ. Tại vì con nhận được rất là nhiều những cái nguồn thông tin khác nhau từ rất là nhiều nơi, có những cái nguồn cũng
nghĩ đi, đừng có nói gì. Nghĩ đi. Trong cái thế giới này bao nhiêu người tiêu cực và bao nhiêu người tích cực, nghĩ đi.
Nên làm con cũng hoang mang tiêm vaccine.
Tức là mình bị ảnh hưởng bởi những cái tin tức tiêu cực. Giờ mình nghĩ đi, mình nên nghĩ cho nó đúng đắn. Ok.
Dạ, cảm ơn.
Cái chuyện sợ hãi thì nó nhiều hơn cái chuyện can đảm.
Dạ.
Cái chuyện nghi ngờ nó nhiều hơn là cái lòng tin tưởng. Nếu mà vaccine nó thế nào đi nữa mà mình có lòng tin tưởng nó cũng tốt hết. Tại mình là người kiểm soát cái thân và cái trí của mình. Làm sao mà ai kiểm soát được cái trí của mình, trời đất ơi, khổ quá. Ai kiểm soát được cái tâm trí của mình? Mình là người kiểm soát cái tâm trí của mình chứ.
Mình cũng có khả năng là thanh lọc tất cả những cái độc tố đó, đúng không Swami? Bằng cái ý chí của mình nhé, mình cũng thanh lọc được, đúng không? Mình cũng kiểm soát được hết những cái thứ đó, đúng không? Dạ.
Tại vì cái virus nó đã là như vậy rồi, nó có thật chứ không phải nó không có thật. Thì là mình phải đối phó bằng cách tốt nhất vậy thôi. Nó không phải là 100% tốt, nhưng mà nó cách tốt nhất vậy thôi. Suy nghĩ.
Dạ, con cảm ơn Swami.
Rồi bị động, bị sợ hãi, rồi bị động, rồi bị đủ thứ hết. Ok, nãy giờ tôi nói chuyện cả tiếng rưỡi, hơn 2 tiếng, gần 2 tiếng rồi. Mọi người làm ơn suy nghĩ về vấn đề mình suy nghĩ có đúng hay không, và mình có bị ảnh hưởng đúng hay sai. Rồi mạnh dạn, xong rồi nếu mà mình không có cái hạ trí của mình nó có quá nhiều thì là mình phải dùng cái thượng trí của người khác. Okay, so she's afraid, about vaccination, and so she needs to. I tell her that she needs to think properly, and she needs to use her higher mind to combat the low mind, the fear. Okay, thank you very much. Om Namah Shivaya. Oh.